I don't know about you, but I downloaded the newly revived Infinity Blade for the PC.
Yes, this one goes out to all the game preservation fans, because this has been described as the best mobile game you can't play, or at least couldn't until this very release.
Until now. And honestly, Drix, so Infinity Blade, my personal experiences with Infinity Blade, you know, I had a phone that had it, and I lost my access to the account that I was on, so I never got it back before I was able to re-download it. And it's been delisted, so you can't get it anymore. There's also the arcade version, much like Fruit Ninja. Infinity Blade has an arcade version that with the touch screen. So,
wow, I haven't seen one of those in person yet.
Oh yeah, they're really, really cool. And I will say that Infinity Blade makes it so that Infinity Blade on the PC, what you're seeing right now, has made it so that you can play this classic mobile game on your PC with, honestly, some surprisingly surprising controls, surprisingly accurate controls, surprisingly intuitive controls. You mostly just use your mouse, and you mostly navigate it as you would the touchscreen interface. Like you see the shield on the bottom, the dodge left, the dodge right on either side of the bottom of the screen, left and right of the screen, and then you click around and drag your mouse clicks, and that's how you strike.
Yeah, just the emulation of swiping, but with a mouse.
Yeah, with the mouse. And there is hotkey configurations. I use Z and C and X. Z dodge left, C dodge right, X block. I use S to stab, because there are moments where I'll say it like this: it is a 1-to-1 port of the original mobile game. There are moments where you can dodge, you can block, you can parry, and your enemy will stagger backwards. You can look around like you're seeing in the B-roll to find hidden things in the world, so you can tap them or click them and you pick them up. And it's really cool. It makes all these little travel scenes a lot more interactive, because you're always looking around the screen trying to figure out if there's any hidden treasures or goodies or potions that you can always pick up. Very, very cool.
Yeah, pretty entertaining melee combat simulator, and then with all the bonuses of a train track shooter, a little bit of I don't know, some upgradable stats and stuff, RPG elements, but pretty intense story too. Actually, there's cutscenes.
I mean, so as far as the
expose that goes on,
as far as the plot, you are a knight and you have infiltrated the castle of this lord, and he has the Infinity Blade. And you're trying to get to him and defeat him. And it is a roguelike. You will be fighting monsters like you're seeing in the B-roll up until you get to that ultimate final boss. But he's tough. And some of these other monsters are pretty tough as well. It's really, really interesting how well preserved the gameplay is. Even though you're clicking around, you still feel like you're doing swipes. You still have that little bit of a gameplay, the similar gameplay feel. But I'll tell you what, Drix, I really, really want to play this with a touch interface, because I don't have access to one of those on my PC. But I'm sure that if you had the touch interface, this would play exactly like the classic, exactly how it's supposed to be.
One of Apple's famous magic trackpads or something or if you have like a Wacom tablet or something
Yes.
used to graphic design with. Yeah, a lot of artists out there might get some nice sword pen relations going.
Yeah, I was thinking about something like that. Like, imagine having a stylus for this game. Imagine that kind of quality is mimicked in the mouse stroke. So I'm sure if you're actually playing it either with a finger or a stylus, you're probably just schmoovin'. It's like a perfect one-to-one emulation. So if you're looking for and the one thing I will say, another thing I will say, a lot of games we've had a lot of retro trying to give you like a retro feel. You got games like Ultra Kill, you got games like Bolt Gun. There's a lot of games that try to like boomer shooters that try to capture that retro feel. This game, it's not from that era per se, but it has that. It's one of the first big budget mobile games. So as you can see from the B-roll right here, it's got that like musty kind of like dingy aesthetic in its menus. It's the in your face UI and when they want it to be, but when it's in the action, the UI is nice and subdued and subtle, and it's focused 100% on the action. The action is brutal. Like you are chopping these dudes 1, 2, ching, 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 and then you're like all the way to the end, and then you get a finishing bonus after you just chop them like even more, and then during the cutscene, your knight finishes all of them. He'll like punch a guy off the cliff. He'll impale a dude with his sword and pull him off. It's amazing. It has that knockdown, drag out, brawl style feel to it that a lot of games try to emulate, but they don't quite nail. If you want an experience that nails it and to see where these games are trying to really pull that from, this is the authentic experience, and you can play it right now for free. Go Google Infinity Blade PC. This is a great port. I've been through 3 runs of it. I've been through 3 runs of it. It's a really, really fun, just a really fun distraction. Like pick up and play for like an hour, 2 hours, because you really can get lost. There's multiple paths that you can go down. There's multiple different kinds of enemies. Even if you go down the same path in another run through, the enemies might be different, and they all attack in different ways. They might have different elemental abilities on their weapons. So it's always worth it to like keep moving forward. But I will say it gets a little bit repetitive. I don't know if you can play this for like 6-8 hours, right?
No, it was designed for like on the go.
Yeah.
It really piqued my interest in mobile games when it came out too.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those games when it came out, you needed like a beefy phone, you know? Like, it was one of those first games where you're just like, wow, you can't play this on the original iPhone. Like,
no. Really pushing the limits of the graphics capabilities of a smartphone.
Right. M. Stonewall C. I wonder the same thing. I'm sure it does. I'm sure if you have it like with a Surface or like Drix was saying with like a Wacom tablet, I'm sure this game would run perfectly, just like how it originally did. So I think definitely if you've never experienced this and you want to know what the hype is all about, give it a shot. Infinity Blade on the PC. As someone who's played the original and has a lot of nostalgia for it, I felt right at home. It was perfect. I thought this was awesome. Like, I literally sat for like 3 hours when I got home from work and played this. It was awesome.
Sweet, yeah. Get yourself on that YouTube video, have a nice little breeze through the walkthrough, couple steps, and get it on your PC.
Absolutely.
Enjoy a piece of gaming history.
Of a game that really is a relic of its time in terms of mobile game direction. They literally don't make games like this anymore for your phone.
No, they haven't put out anything like it.
Like, there are no free-to-play games that mimic this. A lot of mobile games aren't made to buy as like a premium experience, right? These games aren't this is a very rare commodity, and it really shows you what could have been for mobile gaming.
Yeah, people could have really taken off in this direction.
And it's interesting to think about what could have been, and if you want to know what could have been as well, and you want to experience this piece of gaming history, absolutely check out Infinity Blade on the PC. And you can, it's simply, it is simply a Google away. I don't really want to give anybody any other direction than that, because this is still technically property of Epicgames. No one can get a new license to Infinity Blade. I'm someone who has owned Infinity Blade before, so I know, but
yeah.
If you have a round one near you or any arcade that has a good selection of games, you could probably play Infinity Blade on the arcade, and then if you want to try that arcade experience at home, here's your shot.